Yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 438. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
I'm ready to talk about some summer lame fest.
Carlos Romero.
Yo.
And Brett Murdoch.
What up, people?
All right. Brett, do you want to tell me what you want to tell me beforehand, or?
I think I just found a list that goes in order.
Oh, good. Please link it to me. Yeah, because I'd rather do that in order. Just drop it in the chat here. Anyway, what's going on, people? We are officially in not E3 week. You know? So yeah, by the way, no Chris action, no Brian action, no Adam action. So you just got the four of us tonight.
Just
you know?
four of us.
Where's my phone at? Let me see this list. Yeah, because I was going to use a list from IGN, but they have it all out of whack. You know?
I think this one, I know at least starts and ends right, and some of the stuff in the middle might not. I think this is in order.
This looks good to me, Brett. Yeah, I think this is.
Oh, okay. Let me check it out.
Games Hub.
Games Hub
link. Yep.
Okay, cool. Let me pull that up. I'm assuming that's in our Throwdown chat here.
Yep.
In the Discord, so I can post it on the.
Post it on the Twitter so I could grab it easier.
All right, post it.
Yeah, we're doing it live, people. You know,
Doing it live, man.
Yeah. Well, you guys have actually no idea. Like, it's been kind of hard finding a list that was in order because we were talking about this earlier today, and most of the more comprehensive lists that weren't missing some shit just weren't in order.
They just put the superstars in there, and then they just drop the rest.
Yeah, the IGN one I had it does have everything, but it's not in order. But thank you, Brett. This is great.
Manny, I want to just jump on with the thing that Manny just said, like the superstars and everything like that. I want to tip my hat to this show for one very specific thing, because we talked about it on Throwdown, like when they announced their indie games, they showed a sizzle reel and then gave a separate time for when their developer showcase is going to be. That was a great way to do things without just throwing the indie developers under the bus and using them as like gunfire.
Oh no, they're not. Yeah, because they have the Double Fine. What is it? The Day of the Devs, right? So they just said, all right, we'll just put that there and then set all the indie stuff there, which I did watch too. Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just nice. Like I felt like it gave it a platform, but didn't use it as, because like most of the time they just throw those things out there in front of the audience, knowing people are going to be kind of disappointed in seeing.
Yeah, like they literally set those games out to the wolves and just be like, all right, we got games. It's like no. You gotta if you're gonna put something in those spaces, you gotta put something that, let's just be honest, the normies are gonna react to. Other than that, keep your little, put your little game about your soul crushing, narrative of you walking across the street and having panic attacks. Yes, obviously those things relate to people, but you're not gonna get that from the gamer. The gamer. Those guys.
Yeah. Real quick, Manny, did IGN say this was a waste of time? Like, what did they say?
They said it felt like they felt like the Summer Game Fest could have cut at least an hour out of it, and it just felt like for a lot of the time they were just trying to fill in space.
Oh shit! Yeah, that sounds about right. By the way, people,
at least one of them, I can't remember the name of it, but he gave it like a C.
Damn.
Yeah, and Max Scoville gave it a 60.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd give it better than that. Like, it was. I don't know, man. I think
Brett, just jump in what you were gonna say before, like, because I'm interested. Like, you said this was okay for people not like us.
Okay, this game showcase wasn't actually bad, depending on the type of gamer you are. And I saw a big influx of different kinds of games, and I'll kind of address it as we go through the list. But it's a lot more. I'm seeing some old school trends, and I'll be honest. Like the thing that really struck me about the showcase is there's not a lot of gritty, pansexual, post-apocalyptic love story, blah, blah, blah. Like, there's no real super heavy-hitting narrative games in this showcase. And I think that's going to bother a lot of people. But there were a lot of other kind of games in this showcase that I think don't often get the spotlight a lot. I'm not really sure if it's that the other games kind of moved out of the way or what, but some of the stuff in here looks pretty cool. And to the ARPG and MMO player base, there's a few gems in here, man.
Good stuff. So yeah, people, in case you haven't guessed, this entire episode will be dedicated to Summer Game Fest, or Lame Fest, as Manny calls it. Yeah. The thing. Oh, and I'm mostly looking at this after the fact, as I was working when this was going on. The only little tidbits I got was whatever emails I got from press companies. So I saw the Prince of Persia trailer. We're going to talk about that. Saw the Spider-Man, the release date, the special edition, whatever.
Got an announcement to make.
But yeah, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. So yeah, I'm reading this off of Game Hub. So if anything's missing, blame them. First up here, we got Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. So this is, kind of weirdly back to basics, but not, because the original Prince of Persia were 2D. But this seems very much like a Metroidvania type of deal.
Yeah, they're going very Metroidvania on this one. Is it a reboot? I guess, I don't know.
No, I think go ahead, Brett.
Well, I mean, at this point, it does it matter? There's no cohesion between any of the titles.
None of those.
Prince of Persia.
Yeah,
it's a Prince of Persia game.
It's a Prince of Persia game. Yeah, pretty much. Looks cool. There's something I kind of have a problem with, but I'll let it go. Maybe Brett wants to bring it up, but
there's something I want to talk about. I don't know if it's the same thing, but did y'all forget what Persians looked like?
Yeah, that's my main deal. I'm like, Persians didn't look like that. They don't look like that, I should say.
Yeah. It just kind of feels like Ubisoft. I'm gonna call you out here, Ubisoft. Ubisoft just went, minorities are all black people, right?
Yeah,
it's fine.
I mean, to be honest, I didn't have an issue with it. I just had, my issue was just like, oh, look, they just put Killmonger in there.
It just
like,
felt.
It's a little. It's here's the thing. Like, I don't have a problem with, with them putting a black character in it.
I want to know what Persians think of this.
Yeah, that might be an interesting thing, because maybe he doesn't look like a Persian, but the thing is, it's like, I don't know. It didn't.
And for you people who don't know, Persians are Iranians, so yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't have an issue with the change. I just wonder what Persian people think of this change. And also, my only issue is design-wise. I feel like, since Killmonger had that hairdo, not everybody's got that hairdo now.
Yeah.
It's the same old stuff. It's like, you either have dreads, you have dreads, you have short dreads, you have the Killmonger hair now. That's my only deal with him.
Well, that's the weird thing, because I don't know. He doesn't look black other than the hair. He doesn't look like a black guy to me.
He looks like it to me.
He doesn't look like a Persian guy,
he definitely doesn't look like a Persian. We could all agree on that.
Persians come in a lot of shapes and colors. There's a lot of white Persians.
Oh yeah. That's kind of where Iranians. Like, I don't know if you know the history of how that name came to be. There's
a lot of brown Persians as well.
Yeah, but you know how that name came to be, right? Iran?
Remind me.
Basically, and again, this is history. This is real. Hitler suggested you guys should change your name to Iran because you guys are the white people of this region. Although I forgot where I read this from, but I agree with them. Like, you guys should probably change your name to Persians, because that's when you think of Iran, you kind of have negative connotations, but Persia, you're like, oh yeah, Persia, I got rugs and shit, Like, maybe they should go back to that. Go back to Persia, your original name. People like Persia.
Yeah, maybe you want to stay away from the name that
Hitler gave
that Hitler gave you, right?
Yeah. Go back to Persia.
That's generally a good rule of thumb. Like, I just want to say, it's not that I don't have beef here. I'm just kind of like, this has been a great opportunity to show a Persian person, and I'm like, on the back of like this, and I know we're not going to get into this, but on the back of this Cleopatra shit, like
I was thinking the same thing, yeah, because Egyptians aren't happy about that, by the way.
No, well, and see, that's the thing is like a lot of people aren't going to be happy about being kind of race washed. Like the Cleopatra portrait in Netflix portrayed her as Southern African descent, like sub-Saharan African.
Because she's in Africa. She obviously has to be.
Wasn't she Greek?
She was.
Yeah,
Greek,
she was Greek.
Yeah, no, Carlos, wait, have you honestly missed that whole controversy?
I'm not on Twitter like you guys are.
Wow. So basically, just long story short, sorry to derail the conversation, people. Netflix has a documentary about Cleopatra where she was played by an African American woman. Literally, because one of the showrunners said, "My grandma told me Cleopatra was black."
Yeah, that's that. They have
literally why
several times. They're like, my grandma says it. I don't care. Nobody tells you that Cleopatra was black, and then like every historian was like, excuse me, and Egypt was like, we're suing you now.
Yeah, it's anyway. Prince of Persia. All that stuff aside, the gameplay looks fun. I'll check it out. I've been waiting for a new Prince of Persia for 15 years. You know, the last one that came out was in 2008. You know,
yeah, and it's good to have at least a Prince of Persia there after that fail of the supposed remake of Sands of Time.
Yeah, where they had to cancel the remake to start over again.
Yeah, they canceled the remake to start over again.
Man.
But here's the question now. Now that you have this Prince of Persia game, and then eventually you'll have the Sands of Time Prince of Persia, you know, I feel like there's a little bit of, you know, marketing kind of slamming against each other. Usually if you have one, you know, game in a franchise, you probably want to keep the space. Like, in other words, yeah, I don't know. But then again, we don't know how far the Sands of Time remake is going to be.
They had to restart. Yeah,
they had to restart.
I mean, as long as one's 3D and they call it Sands of Time, that'll be a Prince of Persia. Which one, Sands of Time or the side scroller?
Yeah, that's
Sands
true.
Yeah. I think it'll be okay, and I think they can have concurrent running franchises. Like they kind of had, you know, your more double A kind of budget small project side scroller kind of original one, and then they can go a big budget Sands of Time.
Yeah, you got.
We all know this stuff has no new ideas, so they're just recycling the old shit. And
you have two different. You have two different forces. You're good. You know, they're running at the same time. All right, so Prince of Persia. Mortal Kombat 1, another confusing name there. They showed a gameplay trailer. Lots of skulls being cracked. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
It's interesting because it's a reboot of the universe, but it still keeps things from the original universe.
The reboot is in universe.
Yeah, the reboot's in universe. So, like, you know, after the
but again, they've done this before.
Mortal
Kombat 9 literally did this already.
With Mortal Kombat 9. This one is like this is totally throwing a lot of that stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
Like, literally Liu Kang, spoiler alert, Liu Kang literally restarts the universe.
Yeah, he did it at the end of the last game, didn't he?
And you have a different Raiden.
Yeah.
And then now you have a bunch of characters that have sort of been reimagined and constituted together.
So what is this, Mortal Kombat Flashpoint, or what's going on?
Yeah,
I mean, it's pretty much
because they had this already. You know?
Yeah, like they already tried to fix the timeline in Mortal Kombat 9. So then now it's like, all right, fix the timeline again. So now you have it's all new. You know, it's still the same characters. They're just some of them are different places. But then now they have this sort of like tag team aspect to it.
Yeah, I'm looking at this now. That's interesting. Damn.
You have original characters, but like the thing about it is like you have these original characters jumping in and assists, right? But the hilarious thing is that they look like the original designs of the Mortal Kombat characters. So you'll see like classic Sonya and like classic Kano, like all those original sort of classic versions of themselves, like jumping in and doing things. It's weird,
dude. Was anybody else kind of like just super impressed by the fidelity of this thing? Like,
it looks fucking
nice, really good.
Bro, I'm sitting there. I'm like, I'm having trouble telling between some of the cinematics and the gameplay. And I know this is the same thing as a racing game where very small environment they can do that. But hot damn, does this thing look pretty?
Yeah, no, it does. I mean, that's the cool thing about fighting games. You can make them look really good because there's not a lot to render. It's no open world nonsense, you know.
Yeah, you could have high fidelity.
Yeah.
You can have high fidelity characters. You can do all kinds of fun stuff because you don't really need to deal with areas beyond behind what you see.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
but-
I see what you mean, Manny. Like the original characters jumping in.
Yeah, like you see like original Sonya, see original like Kano in there.
Yeah.
They said they had the original Sub-Zero. Like you could have Sub-Zero and Sub-Zero.
I just assumed they were showing off the classic costumes that way.
No, they're not.
No.
They're just a part of it. But like they're just like weird assist trophies or assist characters.
I mean, cool. It moves like Mortal Kombat, but it looks like fucking Advent Children. I'm kind of down. I'm down.
Yeah, this looks cool. Yeah.
Also, I gotta say, like, I think I got sold on Street Fighter today.
Oh, really? How'd that happen?
Because of the character creator.
Yeah, I saw somebody doing a character creator and like doing a world tour. And video was funny as hell, but I was like, man, like this feels like I could take my aggression out on people online because sure as hell nobody will play me.
Yeah, oh, man. But yeah. But the thing is, you have to go to the hub mode to challenge people and shit. Like the world tour mode, you don't actually fight real people, you know?
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, my beef with Street Fighter, my personal issue with Street Fighter is after I've played it for like 3-4 weeks, nobody will play against me.
Oh, because you got too good?
I mean, I don't think that, but they seem real upset.
Yeah, well, no, trust me, there's always another beast out there, so I don't think you're going to be lacking for challengers, randoms.
Yeah.
But yeah, this looks cool. And I'll say this, I'm glad you brought up Street Fighter because of Street Fighter 6, I will give this Mortal Kombat a shot. Because I was almost done with fighting games, and then Street Fighter 6 brought me back. So like, you know what, I'll give this a shot.
Bro, the production, I mean, I don't expect it to reinvent the wheel, but the production value on this thing is insane.
Yeah, it looks crazy. Yeah, for sure.
And at this point of the presentation, I was like, damn, this is started off really good.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And then I guess it goes downhill after this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, I got some things to say about this next one.
All right, Path of Exile 2.
Oh, okay.
Inform me on this because I don't know about Path of Exile 1.
Okay, Path of Exile 1 was essentially the game that dethroned Diablo. Right? Like, that's the way you want to think about it. When Diablo 3 came in and it didn't necessarily deliver the way it wanted to, this company kind of came out of nowhere, and it was a real slow burn. Like, it became a community favorite. It built up over time. It kind of became the standardized game, and it was the thing that a lot of people migrated from when Diablo 4 came out. So, huh?
We said Diablo 4?
Yeah. Like
when the one that just came out, like people were coming from Path.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
So Diablo 4 was kind of expected to, because the Path of Exile has had like an 8-year lifespan.
Oh wow!
Again, it didn't come out to like huge fanfare. It was a slow burn. It built itself up. It showed itself to be a crowd favorite. But those are some of the strongest games, right? So what we have here is a kind of reveal trailer where they're kind of showing you the systems and the building blocks of their new game, and it looks fucking phenomenal. And they're doing it right on the back. Like, dude, there's fighting words. They're doing it right on the back of Diablo. They're hitting while the iron is hot. And I gotta say, like, I'm watching the trailer again, like, immediately when it kicks in, and I'm like, okay, it looks kind of like Diablo. I'm like, is this bitch's belt jingling? I'm seeing every coin shake on her character model and like collide with her. And then I'm watching these effects, these lighting effects, these animations. They are phenomenal. Like, this feels like the birth of a true AAA studio. This feels like a company that made a good game, and this is their introduction to the big time. This thing is going to vie for Diablo players' attention, and that is a huge fucking market. These guys are coming out and taking Blizzard head on, and it looks like they're going to do an amazing. This may kill Diablo.
That's a bold statement.
Bro, the last game that's like saying, well, Van Helsing may fucking kill Dracula. Like, it's happened before. That's what happened that's what killed Diablo 3, man. I know them's big words, but they came out swinging, and the thing that they came out with looks just as more polished. It looks more polished than Diablo. And
I don't know.
Go ahead.
I don't know what you constitute as killing, because Diablo 3 was a huge hit.
Yeah. And what do you like? Most of the player base towards the end of its lifespan had migrated to this game.
Most? So
Yeah.
like if it sold 10 million, over 6 million people went directly from Diablo 3 to this.
I can tell you in the ARPG communities, the action role-playing game communities, Path of Exile is considered king. It is the WoW of that genre.
Yeah, but I don't know how it killed it, because Diablo 3, Diablo is just as a franchise has always just been constantly successful and had a decent player base.
Yeah, okay, like it didn't ruin the franchise or bankrupt it, but I'm saying like it stole the active player base. How's that?
No, I don't know. We'll see. I don't have the numbers with me right now, so I can't. It's not like I could tell right away. Like, but I don't know. I just got stuck on the whole like it killed Diablo. It's like I don't think that happened.
I mean, I don't really know how to convince you on that, other than like that's the general sentiment in the forums and amongst the gamers and the whatnot of the people who are playing this. I mean, at this point, if you brought up in a message board like I'm playing Diablo 3, I'd be like, why? Just play Path of Exile. So much better.
Yeah, but I mean, like just in like Twitch numbers, Diablo 3 has always been part of like consistently for years been, just close to the top of the charts. Like especially for that genre, it's always been pretty popular.
I'll see if I can find some numbers.
Yeah. Anyway, anybody else have any thoughts on Path of Exile? I just saw the trailer. I'm like, oh, it's another one of these games. So I don't, that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah,
Carlos, go ahead, Carlos.
It looked decent. Everything, I've tried a lot of Diablo clones. They're always pretty decent. Most of them are pretty decent actually. But I just bought Diablo, so I'm kind of like, I'm not gonna. I don't want to care about anything about this genre for, more.
Yep.
So, but I mean, this looked decent. But after this, it really went downhill.
This is when the show goes downhill. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Manny, any thoughts on Path of Exile?
Wasn't even interested.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
I didn't really like. I'm not. I'm not into that sort of genre or game. So I just, all right, it's a game. So I just, that's about it.
Yeah. All right, Brett, go ahead.
Diablo 3's player base last month, before Diablo 4 released, was roughly 40,000. Path of Exile's player base last month before Diablo released was 1 to 1.3 million.
Damn.
Where is this?
I'm getting the Diablo from the Diablo 3 player count, and I am getting the Path of Exile from activeplayer.io. You can also look at player options.
Could you send me those just to? I'm not saying that you're wrong, but
Like, yo, man, show them receipts. All right. Anyway, let's move on. This is a weird one. Street Fighter 6 Exoprimal. So it's like a Street Fighter skins and Exoprimals. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's like they're robots that are in Exoprimal. So you get like you get Guile, you get Ryu, stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't think that's the dinosaur game, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
They keep it's funny they're this crossover thing. It's like it's a big deal. We haven't even seen enough of that silly Exoprimal game.
Yeah. Well, I think I've seen enough.
They're trying to get you excited for a DLC for a game that nobody gives a shit about. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ryu's not going to make me play that game.
Nope. Yeah, I'm good. What about you guys? Exoprimal? Yay, nay?
nah, it just seems like shovelware to me.
Yeah. All right. So we just
Milking that Street Fighter 6 run
milking
right
the game's only been out a week.
Yo man, just promote promote Akuma. Why isn't that dude in this game?
right.
Come on.
And again, I'm gonna ask this for the people who are asking it: why is Capcom putting out Exoprimal, but not, the other dinosaur game people really want? A Crisis, I call it. All
I don't know. Why don't they? Why, in that Exo Primal game, why don't they put a friggin' version of that girl from Dinosaur
Dino Crisis.
Primal Crisis?
Yeah, right. All right, we can just bypass that. All right. Oh, look, here we go. A commercial. The Witcher on Netflix. That has to be a commercial, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no, it was a trailer. They didn't present it like a commercial. They
presented it like it was a game, but yeah, Henry Cavill shows up, and they're all saying watch the new season of Witcher, and then feel sad that they kicked Henry Cavill out the door. I almost feel like they're gonna kill him at the end of this and just get another guy to Witcher.
Well, no, they said they're gonna replace Gerald's gonna be played by some other guy next.
Yeah, they're talking about the other Hemsworth, the one that was in the one that was in the one that was in Expendables that they just said Hemsworth just to get because people remember that name.
Yeah.
They didn't say
Thor?
which Hemsworth it was. No, not Thor. Thor's brother.
Yeah,
Thor's
right.
though granted that
Hunger Games.
Yeah, that version, that Hemsworth.
that version of the Hemsworth.
That version of Hemsworth doesn't look like a Cro-Mag like what's his face's brother from Sliders.
Yeah, Jerry Connolly's brother. Yeah.
Jerry O'Connell's
Jerry
brother.
O'Connell. Yeah, his brother looks like a Neanderthal. It's hilarious.
He looks like a weird Cro-Magnon version of him.
Yeah, Jerry O'Connell. Look what his brother looks like. This guy looks
He
like
looks
a
almost.
Neanderthal.
He looks
like Jerry. Like it looks like Jerry O'Connell if you put him in a de-evolution machine.
Yeah, or if you,
wasn't that a part of a GI Joe episode? A fucking
I feel like it was.
Ray or something.
Yeah, like either that or like like his like he's like a de-evolved version of him, or like it's pretty funny.
Yeah. All right, so we could move on from there. It looks like a sizzle reel type of thing happened next. A trailer for first-person shooter called Witchfire was revealed. Revealing an early access launch date, it involves a Victorian-era inspired world with guns, monsters, and magic. It was quickly followed by a trailer for Crossfire Sierra Squad, a VR first-person shooter launching in August on MetaQuest. A trailer for Remnant 2 was next, the third-person shooter roguelike series, which mixes steampunk-looking technology with hard sci-fi elements and a cooperative experience. All right, so a bunch of nothing.
Okay, what? Witchfire looked dope. Nobody cares about the VR game. And Remnant 2 looks awesome, actually. The first game was meh. It was all right. Kind of a proof of concept, but the second game looks like they're going big. A lot of people are excited about that game.
All right, cool. Yeah, this side didn't even bother with trailers. They're like, hey, this happened. All right, next up we got Sonic Superstars, a 2.5D Sonic game. Yeah. Why couldn't we just get Sonic Mania 2?
Okay, here's the funny thing. When I was watching the stream, like the trailer starts out like in class because
classic, yeah.
He presented it like here is a new Sonic game, and they threw up this 16-bit Sonic game, and the crowd went wild.
Yeah.
And then he transferred into 3D, and the crowd notably hushed.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I was like, if that's not telling how your audience feels, like, y'all should be listening to this shit. They should play a video of this in the boardroom. Because, holy Christ, you could tell the energy in the room dropped by like 50% easily as soon as it passed into 3D.
Wow.
Yeah, you could, literally, it sucked all the energy out of the room.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give them this. At least it's as I call it, the correct Sonic. Like, I'm like, if you see Sonic with green eyes, you got a problem. At least black-eyed Sonic is at least in the right direction. But yeah, this is not what people want. I didn't watch the show, so I didn't realize that happened during this reveal. That's fucking hilarious, because that would have been me too. It's like, oh shit, let's go. Oh no.
Yeah, no, that was exactly what you heard 10,000 times laid over themselves.
No, wow.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Like, oh.
And there's like two guys still going, woo!
Yeah, right. Yeah, man, let's go with 3D.
3D Sonic. Maybe they'll get it right this time.
Okay, so I have nothing to say about
Yeah,
that.
the best Sonic game they've made in a decade was made by somebody else.
Yes, this is true. Okay, you know what? I'm looking. Okay, I'll just keep going down this list here. Because the thing is, there's a list of just everything. But if you go down, they have trailers. So I'll just do that. All right. Next up, we got. Oh, yeah. Let's go, man. I guess the show's really taking off right now. Honkai Star Rail.
This was the bathroom break portion of the show.
Yeah, Honkai Star.
I mean,
it
was a sort.
Look at this shit.
Sort of like an anime MMO, isn't that what it is?
I don't know. I watched the trailer and I still have no fucking idea.
Is this another Genshin Impact?
Kind of, yeah.
It doesn't show you anything about the game. It just kind of shows you the visuals and the attitude of some characters, which I have no context for.
Brett, remember what we talked about the other day about how anime games look exactly like anime, but the problem is anime doesn't look good anymore, so the games don't look good? This is a perfect example of that.
Yep.
This is literally a textbook of what we talked about.
You're like, oh, this looks kind of good for an anime game, but looks terrible for an anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's almost like generic anime, like like it's not. It doesn't really have any real personality to it at all. It's just like, okay, anime characters for the sake of anime characters, but
but they were trying. So like, dude, the cliche was just, it was hard to bear. Like because I wasn't even paying. I was like getting a drink at the time, and like I kind of walked back in, and there's this kind of funky, fiery, redheaded guy with a bit of an attitude and a fire gauntlet that shoots off things, and then it cuts to this aloof, kind of dismissive hacker girl, and I was like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. Pass.
I mean, to be honest, I also think this is also one of those Chinese games trying to be Japanese games.
Could be.
No, those are better.
Kind of like Genshin Impact.
Yeah. Yeah, so there you go. Honkai Star Rail, whatever. All right, hey, there we go. Lies of P, let's go.
You mean, man,
Pinocchio.
the main character in that game looks like the Dune kid.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, he kind of looks like him.
Well, you know what? You're right. Yeah, like Timothy.
Something Timothy Charlemagne or whatever.
Charlemagne. Yeah.
Charlemagne.
Who is this? Who is this game for? Like, it's okay. The whole based on Pinocchio thing. Like, all right, I'm really just gonna say like, this kind of has the feeling maybe of like a Japanese person who heard about Pinocchio once, and then they're like, I'm gonna make a game out of this.
It's a Western game though.
I know, that's the weird. I don't know what to make of this, and the style. And maybe this is just me, but the style seems super weird or very niche. Like if you love The Cure, this is going to be a game for you. But I'm not.
The band The Cure?
Yeah, like this.
I don't know about that, man.
You need to explain that one.
Yeah,
okay, the aesthetics of this just feel uber Lolita goth. There you go. That's just.
Yeah, like The Cure is not Lolita goth at all.
That's fair. Most of the goth people I know love The Cure, so it's a great umbrella one. I don't know anything more fucking specific than that shit.
Yeah, so this was cool, but the problem is, and Brett, you know how I feel about other companies that do Soulsborne games.
Well, again, even if it's good, like I don't know its identity, other than like fancy aristocrat vampire, maybe. But again, like I'm not really sure that that's a great wide audience kind of vibe. Because I'm like, it looks cool, but like, it seems like the game's got a weird vibe to it.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of the point, that it's supposed to be weird.
To be honest, that game feels very European.
There's a name for that. Eurojank.
Yeah, that's kind of
a Eurojank game.
It's very sort of European, like
Yeah, maybe that's
even though Pinocchio is not is not French, but they had a bunch of French music playing in it.
Yeah, that is true.
It's Italian.
Hey,
gonna go to the Bada Bing.
Pezzo di merda. All right, cool. All right, next up, what do we have here? Sandland. Let's play this trailer. What is this? A trailer?
Have you not seen this yet?
I'm watching it. Remember, I didn't see the show.
Yeah, this is the Akira Toriyama game. This was based on another one of his comics.
Takes place in a post-apocalyptic desert world where you play the demon prince Beelzebub on a quest to find water. Okay, that sounds
it was like I think it was a mini series that he did, or it's fun. It's Akira Toriyama style.
What kind of
Did you enjoy Dragon Quest? Then you might like this game.
No, it's not. It's an action RPG, if anything.
Oh yeah, that's definitely Akira Toriyama.
Yeah.
What kind of game is this?
It's sort of like it's not an RPG. It's more of like a open world sort of exploration. You get to drive vehicles and stuff like that.
Like Xenoblade?
Okay, so it's nothing like Dragon Quest then.
No, it's not like Dragon Quest. The only thing just Dragon Quest is the
art style.
Same artist. Yeah.
I mean, isn't that why you play these games?
No, because that's part of it, but it's also because of the gameplay.
Yeah, it's a different. I mean, if you're saying if it's by Square, yes, it would be a Dragon Quest game. But this is a Namco game, so this would be.
Oh no, I just meant
an action RPG.
Most games with him that have him do an art style, that's why I play the games. Like,
okay, fair enough. I don't do that because there's plenty of games with his art style, with all those Dragon Ball Z games that are like trash. I don't know
if Dragon Ball Z counts. I mean, I know that
he created Dragon Ball Z,
dude. Bro, I know, but it's not like it's.
But yeah, like not every game that comes out of it is going to be a Dragon Ball Z game. Though.
Yeah.
Not everything that he worked on is going to be a Dragon Ball Z or a Dragon Quest game.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if you play for the art style, then you're playing those crappy Dragon Ball Z games too.
But it's fun to see it sort of embrace the other part of Akira Toriyama, the sort of futurist, like steampunky futurist thing that he used to have in a lot of his other books. In fact, you see a lot of it in here too, where he's got those goofy like roundy robots and things. It looks interesting.
Yeah, I don't know,
but it's also a Namco game, and I am very wary of those sorts of titles that they make.
Yeah,
it just seems like a lot of their titles are just kind of quick cash grabs. Like they have a franchise that people sort of recognize. They have a name somebody recognizes, and they just sort of make these mediocre titles. But
not wrong.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
That's my only thing. Like I'm like, hey, looks interesting, but it's also Namco Bandai, which they don't make the most amazing games.
Yeah. Jay Shep, what's going on, brother? Did Tony already mention a game that's like Pokemon with guns? No, we haven't gotten to that yet.
That's coming up.
Yeah, I'm going in order, so just bear with us.
I think that was at the very beginning of the show.
No, it's coming up soon.
It's coming up, yeah.
Was it? Okay.
And again, remember, people, I haven't seen this. I didn't see the show, so a lot of these trailers I'm seeing just for the first time now. Next up, we got Throne and Liberty. Let me just read these just so I know what the fuck I'm talking about. The new world MMO. New open world MMORPG from NC Soft and Amazon. Whatever. Okay, this is getting. Let me just watch this trailer. Like the description gets worse and worse.
You want me to take over this, Tony?
Yeah, go ahead, please. What the fuck is this?
Throne and Liberty is one of the more anticipated MMOs of 2023. People have been waiting for it for a while. We've known it's coming. There's not a lot in the MMO space right now that is new. A lot of people are playing MMOs that are probably 8 years old. The same ones have kind of been hovering around the top, and there hasn't really been a lot of fresh blood. So people are excited for a few different MMOs, but I think Throne and Liberty is probably the biggest among them. It is coming from Amazon, which will make people upset, but it's also coming from NC Soft, and NC Soft, it's complicated, but the best way to put it is they're one of the most prolific makers of top-tier MMOs that people actually play for any decent amount of time, but they're also notably bad for doing like free-to-play models with microtransactions.
No.
So it's kind of, they're the best, but they're also the most abusive, and they're teaming up with Amazon, so there's a lot of kind of hesitant optimism surrounding this, but for a lot of MMO players and a lot of online players, this is the one to watch. At least that's kind of, if you put your ear to the ground, the rumbles that you hear. Personally, here's my thing. I'm looking at my crystal ball, and I'm kind of seeing a convergence in the future, right? Like, we're getting these live service games that are kind of drifting backwards towards MMO status. Diablo's a pretty good example, where they're kind of figuring out how to do a hybrid well, where that you can play it by yourself or you can play it with friends. So I kind of see this next generation of MMOs that's coming up as very, like, these could be in Overwatch type situations, right? When the mass market kind of breaks through from the Destinies of the world to the actual MMOs, we might have a brand new player base open up. And I was thinking about this today, bit of a tangent, but like I was thinking about this today because like it seems a generational thing, or maybe even like a decade kind of thing, where people raised with a certain kind of game swing back the other way. One of the things I was noticing about this show is it's for lack of a better term, it's a lot about fun, right? There's very little pretense of story or whatever. There's just throw you in there and you're going to kill monsters, or you're going to kill zombies, or you're going to kill fucking something else, and you're going to hang out with friends and you're going to do it. It's just going to be great. So it kind of makes me wonder if we're swinging away from these kind of very heavy experiences, and kind of we have a new generation of gamers being like, look, bro, I just want to have some fun. That kind of seems to be a common thing that's coming into it. But I also wonder if, again, we're progressing into full MMO territory. Like, why would you take a half-baked MMO, no offense, like Destiny, when you could have something like Destiny plus, where they have all kinds of added mechanics and a bigger world? Like, why would you take the half and half experience? That was kind of a transitory thing, you know? It was for people who liked Halo. Here's some MMO items that we've kind of put in it. But now people that are raised with that, they've had that for a decade. I don't feel like they're maybe ready to wade in a little bit deeper. So we might see some of these more MMO type live service games gaining more traction.
Brett, so what I thought about the same thing, but with different types of games. And I think the part that I misunderstood is, for example, a game like Destiny, which to us seems like a half-baked MMO, not even half-baked, it's probably less than half-baked. It's just that people really enjoy it, and then people really enjoy Fortnite, and that's what they have fun. And that's what drove me crazy, because every time I saw people playing Fortnite, I'm like, this is a de-evolution of what shooting games should be. You know, I've seen games that came out 10, 20 years ago that were more advanced than this. And it just sucks, because, you know, there are games that actually do what the genre has evolved to. And in your case, the MMO genre. In my case, it was the shooter genre. And people just, you know, stuck with that, because people still stick with Destiny. Destiny's still popular, and it still kind of baffles me in a way, but it's just what people like. It sucks.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's definitely a gap between the hardcore and the casual crowd here. So, like, you know, I do see some migration of people coming from Path of Exile, coming over into Diablo, and being like, you know, this game just feels a little light for me. And I don't think that's everybody, but I think the people that are coming from more shallow waters, coming into something like Diablo with the PvP and the builds and the theorycraft and everything like that, I think that's being more well received. And I think it's just one of those things, like, what you've been raised on, you can get a little bit more complicated than that. So I think there's a lot of us who, like, went from Halo to Destiny, and we're fine in Destiny. I think it's going to be the younger crowd that have, you know, been playing Destiny since they're 10 years old. That's the normal to them. And so when they see something like that, they're like, okay, so it's like Destiny, but it has like a bigger open world and kind of more fleshed out features. Like, that could be something I could get into.
And that's
before, go ahead.
And that's the funny part, when obviously we all played Destiny. Probably not Manny. I don't know about Manny, but most of us
played the demo.
Oh, all of us played Destiny. When Destiny came out, we're like, what is this? Is this an open world? Is this an MMO? It was actually neither of those two things. So it's like,
but there was something about that original Destiny that was compelling, man. You know, it was interesting. It wasn't that. I really think for me it was the mechanics were so fucking good, man.
Oh yeah,
that kept me going because I played Destiny heavily. It wasn't like I played for like 2 hours and split. I was there for like a good 3 months. I was just hundreds of hours into that shit. Like, but then again, but I was also waiting. I'm like, give me more, and they didn't. You know, as far as like the narrative went. You know, so I stopped playing it. Then I came back for Destiny 2, and I played that for a long time too because of those fucking mechanics were so good. But after like I think 3 expansions of just the same thing over and over and over again, I'm like, okay, I think I'm done now. You know?
Yeah, and see that's it in a nutshell. That like I'm ready for more. I'm ready for more. Like there's a whole field of ready for more. And I think the difference was MMOs, and this is going to sound weird, they weren't fun in the traditional sense. Like they weren't actively engaging from moment to moment, right? It's like playing Risk. Like, is playing Risk fun? Sure, but like in the second, are you like, woo, moving my arm? He's like, no, you're not. And I think that was a thing that Destiny kind of bridged the gap, where they're like, look, we have some MMO elements, but it's still satisfying to play. And the reason I think that this bridge is kind of, you know, we're kind of bridging the gap now is because we're finally catching up where a lot of these new MMOs look satisfying. They look fun to play in the moment, but they also have these that kind of more that Tony was talking about, where sure, it's fun for a few months, but then you're like, okay, I'm ready for a deeper system. This is where, you know, MMOs are notoriously complex, but it's that complexity is what engages their player base.
Yeah. A couple of things. We got questions and comments. J Shep goes for Brett. Why would people be upset that the game is coming from Amazon? Brett, can I answer? Because I'm one of those people.
Yep.
Yeah, it's from Amazon. Like literally, it's from Amazon. They have one of the worst track records when it comes to game releases. The game I need to single out is obviously Crucible, right? I remember I reviewed this fucking game, right? And literally 3 weeks later, they cut out half the systems that were there. Half the features were gone. And then 2 months later, they just canceled the whole game. They just had a horrible, horrible history with game releases. I think they're finally getting their shit together, but I can't overlook those initial steps of theirs. So when I hear Amazon games, it triggers that like, oh, fuck, here we go. You know, so that's my reason why. As soon as I hear anything about Amazon games, I get a red flag. And also, this is from Logic Wins. He goes, honestly, I can't say I have too much of an issue with this quote-unquote new direction the industry is going in. While I appreciate my single-player games, I have the most fun playing Modern Warfare 2 with friends. We need more decent online co-op games.
Preach.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. Well, online co-op games, especially campaign co-op games, are the ones that I wish that we had more of, because you know those are usually experiences that I prefer.
Yeah, I got to read this comment from Blitz, my man. And remember, Blitz is like the positive guy, right? He always tries to look at the bright side of life. He goes, what a fucking depressing show that was.
Yeah, Summer Lane Fest.
Summer Lane Fest, baby. He goes,
okay, see what I'm talking about for like the Tonys of the world. Like there ain't a lot here, but for those that are kind of interested in these, you know, online co-op, you know, just fun murder everything kind of get like. There's a few things in here that'll entice people, but it's not like the wide audience thing. So like this show was way more for me than it was for Tony.
Yeah, absolutely. As evidenced by what I'm seeing here. All right, moving on here.
By the way, shout out to our homeboy Hip Hop. He was around the front row. You could hear him every time.
Jeff is crazy.
Yo, was he the guy that in the Sonic game?
He probably was hype.
Yeah, he probably was, because you could hear him like every time, like he's like, oh.
J Shep goes, my issue with those is the reason why the industry is making co-op online games. They're all just money grabs. Yeah, they kind of are. I agree. I mean,
some of these don't look like that. Some of these, like for a while, yeah, I think so. But like, I think they're starting to get wise to the fact that, you know, most of the time when they throw us some bare bones stuff, it's not great. Then the sweet spot is to like make a game that you don't have to play with people, but you can play with people, and try and find a way to make those two things not get in the way of each other. And I think I don't want to say that they're doing it. I don't want to say that it looks like they're doing it, but like the shit that I'm seeing looks more promising than I've seen in a hot minute. Yeah, maybe I'm just putting everything in kind of context, but I'm looking around like the world is a giant dumpster fire. These things are slightly less on fire, but like, bro, it's more than we've gotten. And some of the things in this showcase was the first time I have ever actually thought to myself, some of this stuff looks like kind of like next gen, actually. Not enough to make me be like, oh damn, but like even a Path Exile, man, like really like that may not be your jam, but like look at the fucking systems that play there. Look at the lighting effects, look at the environments and the way that they're destroyed. Like look at the animation, like it is on point, man.
Yeah.
Way late, way overdue, but like I think we might finally starting to see like the next batch of actually decent games instead of what the fuck ever has been going on for the last 4 years.
Yeah. All right. Oh, by the way, I skipped this. I'm very sorry for skipping this. Nicolas Cage is in Dead by Daylight, and he's on stage.
That's old news. I mean, they announced him a while ago.
Okay, so but I guess
they brought him on stage. He seemed genuinely excited about it. Like
Nicolas Cage, he's just happy to be alive, I guess.
Yeah, like I thought it was going to be like another one of those like, talking over the heads of gamers, but he actually broke down. It was actually kind of cool. He broke down like why he was excited to do this, how it there's a new space that he hasn't been invited into before, and that's always a cool thing for him. And he's doing the game because somebody in his household is an enthusiast of the game.
My guess is his kid. It's just like
his kid likes the game, and he's like, "Oh, they invited me to be on that game. What a cool chance to connect with my kid!" Like he just seems to be very real about it. Like it doesn't seem like he's like tossing pittance to the gaming peasants or anything like that. He just seemed genuinely jazzed to be there, which was kind of cool to see.
Yeah, that's cool. Again, I don't know anything about Nicolas Cage's personal life, but he seems like one of those guys that's like really fucking weird in movies, but like in real life, he's probably really super cool and chill. Even if eccentric. I saw his when I went to New Orleans, I saw his fucking grave. He has a grave prepared for himself in the New Orleans like cemetery, and it's a fucking pyramid. like all these old school fucking like New Orleans like fucking crypts and shit.
You don't look like Cleopatra.
Pyramid.
Yeah. Well, one thing he did mention that I thought was kind of cool was like so you like your voice to the cutscenes, you like your face, like is there anything else in the game? He's like, oh no, like we went in and redid every grunt, every like heave, every time he gets attacked or picks up a potion, like everything is me because I want to be fused with the player. Like I want it to be both of us, and I wanted that to feel immersive. So we did every single sound effect redone for this character. I'm like, okay, well at least he's thorough. Like I can see that being an actor thing. He's notorious. Like dude fucking permanently disfigured his teeth for this last vampire movie he did.
No way.
Not sure if anybody has heard that, but like they literally had to file his teeth down to fit him with like the dentures that he used for that movie.
Oh wow!
So like, dude goes in. I don't know if you call him a method actor or whatever the fuck, but like he's serious about his craft, man.
Yeah, shout out to Nick Cage, man. All right, moving on here. So, it's listed as Warhaven, but there's a couple of games here. A trailer for a new game from Nexon was then revealed that features flashy medieval-style battles against hordes. They misspelled hordes here of enemies in trepidatious environments. So you can spell trepidatious correctly, but not hordes. Okay. The things we
another online game looked fun to play, but it was very little pretense of like, hey, this is like a fantasy setting. Go in and just wade in and fucking murder people. There's other people playing.
It looks like that Ubisoft game.
There's a lot of medieval games, man.
Yeah, it looks like that Ubisoft game. What was it called? Like where you were literally like it was like samurais and knights and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, Chivalry! It does look.
Oh my god, I'm forgetting the name now.
I think it's like Chivalry.
Yeah, was it Chivalry? Yeah.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't Chivalry. Ubisoft
Mountain Blade
game, right?
or whatever.
Yeah.
Why am I forgetting the name of this fucking game?
I think
the one that came out, and it was like a pretty much was garbage. But
For Honor, thank you, Blitz.
Yeah,
For Honor. There you go. Yeah,
it sort of looked like For Honor to me.
Yeah, thank you, man. Okay,
it looks
go
way
ahead,
better than For Honor. I think like the mechanics looked good on it. Like here, I saw what looked like a very well put together third person hack and slash action adventure game with other people, but NPCs as well. So
I don't know. It felt like they were in an arena. It didn't feel like they were in like it just felt like they were in a lockdown arena that they were battling. It didn't seem very maybe there was more to it, but all it looked like it was just a giant like arena with a castle, kind of like the way For Honor was, with a bunch of different things, and you just sort of wail.
Yeah. Where it's a field where you like push from point A to B, and other people are trying to defend. Like it seemed like a closed environment, like not necessarily just an arena, but like a town.
Yeah, kind of like the way For Honor was. Like you can't leave the castle, but the castle is pretty big, where it's got all kinds of different areas that you can kind of camp and do all kinds of fun stuff in. So
yeah, I mean,
one character looks like an Elden Ring character. That lady, the Night Lady.
Right, dude. Yeah, like this game is really going to sink or swim, dependent on how actually, again, satisfying that moment to moment combat is. Because these games, they keep coming out like For Honor, like it's not fun to play. That's the problem. Like it's kind of cool. There are fun elements to it, but from moment to moment, it's not fun to play. And I think one thing that's got me really thinking about this lately is I've been playing Diablo, and I didn't even mean to grind, man. I just accidentally ground because I like going out of town and blowing shit up. Like when you don't need somebody to tell you or give you a quest to just be like, oh, I'm just gonna go kill people. Why? Oh, that's fun. Like, okay, that's a thing that I think the game industry has forgotten a lot of, and it seems like we may be remembering. I'm super hesitant about that, but a lot of these games seem geared towards just kill shit and have fun.
Yeah. All right. This was followed by a brief series of trailers for Party Animals, as well as content update for Dying Light 2 and also Crash Team Rumble. So there you go. Hey, look, an actual big game now. Alan Wake 2. Let's look at this. Hey, it's Alan Wake 2. All right.
Yeah.
I saw Jeff Keighley there, like, hey.
You might be surprised by this. It's what you would imagine when you think of Alan Wake 2.
Yeah. Well, except you're not playing as Alan Wake. You're playing as some FBI woman.
Actually, it's a switch. You can switch between them.
Okay. That's
that's the interesting thing. Manny, I don't know if you got this. You can play both of them at the same time. Like you can choose who to play with. If that's the dude is a Nordic.
Are they in different times?
Well, no. One is in a real world, and one is sort of in like this like spirit sort of like metaphysical world. That's where Alan Wake is.
Okay.
So I'm sure there'll be like homegirl shooting at some deer dude. Okay. But
yep.
Yeah. There's a deer dude.
I hate to sound so pedantic. It looks like Resident Evil.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, to be honest, that's what you did, and that was the day-to-day gameplay in Alan Wake. But the thing is that your guns officially can't kill the monsters. You have to use it like a combination with your flashlight. And if you see it every so often, she sort of burns them with the flashlight, which she puts it in like focus mode. So yeah, that's the way the combat works.
Yeah, because I thought in Alan Wake it was just you shoot them with a camera or whatever.
No,
that's Fatal Frame.
No, Alan Wake. You had all the monsters were like allergic to light, right? So if you shot the light at them, it would weaken them, but to the point where you could actually shoot them with the gun. So there's a two part thing to it. One thing he did say though, which was interesting, he said this is our first survival horror game.
Yeah, the first one wasn't then, right? Like
no, it was more of an action game.
Yeah, well, that's why this looks like Resident Evil,
So, it's good. It'll be interesting to see. Also,
so that's a good thing, isn't it, Tony?
It could be.
The thing, Remedy makes decent games.
I haven't played a Remedy game I don't like yet, so
they make games that have decent gunplay to them. So
And from my understanding, and chat, correct me if I'm wrong, or someone in the panel correct me if I'm wrong. The way the guy, I forgot his name, from Remedy,
Sam Lake.
When he was on stage with Jeff Keighley talking about the game, and Jeff Keighley, and from what I understood, he was talking about as if you can play the whole game just as
Alan Wake
Alan Wake,
as the FBI agent, yeah.
Or the whole game as just the FBI agent. It's up to you, to decide which portions of the game you're going to play with each. And I think you can seamlessly switch between both of them.
At least it gave that impression, yeah.
Yeah, he definitely gave that impression. So if that's true, that's actually pretty cool. And I'm looking, like, it makes me look more forward to the game than before, because it means, like, hey, this is your gameplay, your gameplay cycle. Like, you did this portion with Alan Wake, this portion with the FBI chick, this portion like that. That'd be pretty cool. Or you can do just one character the whole time.
Yeah, that looks cool. October 17th. Nice.
Also, the other thing that Sam Lake did say is that you also don't need to have played Alan Wake to fully understand what happens in this game.
Okay, that's good to know. All right, next up here we have Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2.
Bro.
Looks nice.
Yeah, go ahead, Brett.
No, the game just looks like I've beaten this dead horse all night. Like, game just looks fun. Warhammer Space Marine is one of those, like, okay, you're a badass Space Marine, fucking everything up. Why? Because you're a badass Space Marine. Good enough. Give me the chainsaw sword.
Skip the trailer.
Yeah,
Do they show gameplay in this?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it's for 1 to 3 players, so it's seamless campaign, full campaign co-op.
All right.
Yeah, and it looks pretty fun. It looks like Gears with I don't know. It's
Well, Gears was inspired by Warhammer.
Yeah, but Warhammer wasn't it just like an RTS type game?
They actually did make a few games, but no, I mean they probably did get the chainsaw gun from that game, from Warhammer in general.
Yeah, if this is like Gears of War, then I'm interested.
Less cover based, more Diablo, or not Diablo.
Dead Rising.
May Cry feeling.
More Dead Rising, no, because it's like the horde of enemies.
Well, it's just like
I see what Brett's talking about.
Space Marines are very specifically about, like, you don't take cover, you don't stop fighting. It's kind of like Doom, right? Like, you just keep wading in and murdering.
Yeah.
That hiding's for pussies. It's pretty much on the box.
Yeah, that makes sense. It looks like Brett mentioned. It looks actually kind of fun.
Yeah, it looks interesting. We'll see. So, when did the first game come out? Like, how long?
It's actually been a while. Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, and that game is like a cult favorite for it's just like a 10-hour long campaign of just balls to the wall fun. Where, like, it. Okay, so the thing you want to understand about Warhammer is Warhammer's kind of this grimdark campaign setting where their premise is kind of like literally everybody is awful. There are no good guys. Everything is just metal and turned up to fucking 11. Like, humans are ruled by a living undead god emperor who needs like 10,000 souls a day sacrificed to his living throne to power the engine that is the Empire. Like, it's just it's ridiculousness in the vein of almost kind of Brutal Legend, where like it is so over the top that you just can't even really take it seriously, and it doesn't try to take itself seriously or have a crazy dark story. And why do the Space Marines war with things? Because literally nothing in the universe ever gets along. There's no alliances. Every race just tries to out-murder every other race, because that's how it is. Because the world fucking is terrible. And so it's like I said, it's so dark and grim and serious that it just kind of rolls back over into just not being serious anymore. Like, one of my favorite bits of nerd knowledge is the orcs in Warhammer. They have spaceships and space weaponry and stuff like that, but it's not because they're smart. It's because secretly orcs are the greatest psionic race in the history of time, and their spaceships work just because they cobble a bunch of crap together and believe hard enough that it's a spaceship and then it'll fly. And that collective belief makes it happen.
Interesting.
So it's Warhammer is known for fuck it, just have fun. They're not trying to build a D&D campaign. They're not trying to, build this grand narrative. They're just, hey, wouldn't it be cool if Space Marines and orcs killed the shit out of each other?
And there's all kinds of things. There's like werewolves, and it's like fantasy and like sci-fi mixed together.
Yeah. Like there's like techno necromancers and like cybernetic Haya. Like again, everything is just fucking ridiculous. Just think about the most sweaty edgelord thing you can think of, and then double that, and you get Warhammer.
Cool. All right. Next up here we have Yes, Your Grace, Snowfall, which is apparently a sequel to a game called Yes, Your Grace. I didn't realize we were still doing these kind of pixelmation games.
We're still doing this, huh?
We're still doing this.
I mean, there was what was it? That other one that was the one for Xbox. The advertised years ago.
Yeah, but this is like years ago. Like I thought this trend was over already. All right, I don't have anything to say about that.
Yeah, this is like there was this one like cyberpunk looking one that this almost feels like.
Yeah.
So the first game was one of these genre bending. It was a different type of game where you spend a lot of time like micromanaging from the point of a king, and I think you actually went out and did some stuff as a king. It was a king simulator. But I just think people are really excited about this. It's nice to have different kinds of games, and we definitely need the indie community to keep brainstorming different stuff so we don't run out of ideas. This one's not for me, but I can get why people might look at it and be like, this is something different.
Yeah.
But it's a sequel, so it's not different.
No, the original one was different, and a lot of people liked it, and I think a lot of people were excited for a sequel. I don't know any of these people. I've just heard that this was highly anticipated.
All right.
Mostly from random indie journalists. You know how they are.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, John Carpenter's Toxic Commando.
Bro.
What is all this then?
It's the same spiel I gave for Space Marines. Seems like it goes right here. Like it just seems like, all right, so they're just gonna murder the fuck out of This is the game that gives me Dead Rising vibes.
All right. Do they show actual gameplay in this thing?
Yeah, they do.
So skipped all the CG shit. Let's see here. Toxic Commando. Nothing to do with Toxic Crusader, I'm guessing.
I was excited.
It's John Carpenter. He had nothing to do with Toxic Crusader.
Oh, it's one of these games.
Yeah, it's a first person
zombie
sort of
shooter.
How many of these fucking games haven't we gotten already?
I mean, really?
Yeah, it's like a whole bunch of them.
Back 4 Blood, Left 4 Dead, Dead Rising, State of Decay.
Yeah, World War Z. It's like come on. Yeah,
oh, that's the butt of the game.
That's the butt of the game.
Yeah, if it's fun to play, it could be pretty big. John Carpenter's name carries some weight, and it seems like
really.
Maybe for guys like us, maybe.
Yeah, but he hasn't. The only thing has been attached to that's worth anything is his music career, because everything else is just like those last Halloween movies were garbage.
I still feel like his name recognition will come or sound like it. It looks well put together for what it is. But again, it really depends. Is it going to be fun? If it's fun, I might be compelled to play it.
It's not that hard to make impressive looking games these days. But then again, you have companies.
The shelves would beg to differ.
But then you have that company that made the Gollum game, and that looks like horrible.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, like I want to agree with you, Manny, but it seems like we've somehow lost the knowledge of making games in the last few years. Like, I feel like we took a step back.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Brett, here you go, man. Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, bro, I've already been super hyped about this anyway. It's fucking Larian Studios.
It's already in his home already.
So
it's just there. It's already there.
Yeah.
It's already there.
Yeah, Brian's going to be excited about this one, too, because, again, it's Larian Studios. These are the people who did Divinity. And the story here is just fucking great. They wanted to do a Baldur's Gate game, and then were told no. So they went off and founded their studio, did their own thing, made Divinity 1. It was a huge success. So much so they made Divinity 2, which was, again, a huge success, even bigger. And it got the attention of the studio, who then came back and asked them to do Baldur's Gate.
Yeah. Funny how that works.
Like, well, no, I mean, we don't want you to do one. All right, we'll make our own fucking Baldur's Gate. All right, okay. No,
and then they're like, okay, that's a. I mean, but the thing about that excites me is like, bro, if you have a dream, if you have a group of people and we're like, we have a dream where we want to make this game, and we want to make this game so bad, we're going to make other games like it because we're not allowed to make this game, and then they're allowed to make it. Like, they're putting in the work.
Yeah. Yeah, I checked out a preview. I've checked out a preview of this like back before the Rona hit, and I talked to developers. Yeah, they were very, very excited about this. So it's good that this making it. It's funny because I'm like, because the beta's been out forever, so I'm like, this game already been out, but no, it actually hasn't come out yet. So
yeah, it's been in early access. They wanted to open, and I kind of think it's really cool when companies do this. They wanted to open up the community, who are huge fans of this games themselves. They're like, we're taking on a very prestigious role here, and we want to involve the community who is, as like us, huge fans of the game in the development, so that they can help guide the development. And this is more of a group effort kind of thing. And and when you do that well, things work out really well. Like, you open yourself up to the mob, they will actually I've seen video games completely change direction in open development for the better. Games that would have been dead on arrival actually turned into really cool things. But most of the time, early access is just exploited to sell a broken game. So.
Yeah. All right. Oh, here we go. This the part. Actually, I would have woken up for Baldur's Gate because I'm interested in that too. Again, what I didn't play it. I just saw like a hands-off thing. It's fucking dope. Okay, Spider-Man 2. Let's go. Some new information here. Okay, so Eddie Brock will not be Venom. That's interesting to me.
Well, you know who it was going to be. They set it up in the last game. Spoiler.
It's Harry Osborn? Yeah, we probably should. No, we can't say because it's just speculation. Harry Osborn. Yeah, Harry Osborn. Yeah, there you go.
It's not speculation. They kind of give you a big old explanation point in that
man, let's just say speculation so nobody could accuse us of spoiling anything. Even though we aren't spoiling anything because we haven't played Spider-Man 2, all right, it's Harry Osborn. That's right. Listen, I'm already sold on this game. Give me this shit. October 20th.
Quit showing me shit. I'm done. I want to buy it already.
Yeah, give me the game.
They didn't show you anything. They just showed you a bunch of concept art, and they kept you in there for like it was an on-stage interview, so they didn't show you shit.
Manny and Tony, I'm disappointed you guys haven't talked about this yet. What? They showed the generico box art of the fucking game.
Yeah, I know that fucking generic bullshit art. Like,
it's literally the same cover.
It's the same cover
with Miles Morales crossed on there.
Oh
but you know what? I'm gonna tell you this. Have you ever flipped both Spider-Man and the Miles Morales game? Like, you ever flipped the cover inside? Because the actual cover that's on the inside is actually way nicer.
Manny, I do not buy physical games, sir, so I did not know this.
Yeah, it has a nicer cover on the inside.
You
would know that if you bought some physical games, son.
Man, I don't buy that shit.
One of you guys correct me, but I'm pretty sure they said something along. I'm paraphrasing here. They said something along the lines of, "We wanted to make sure we had 2 on the cover because there are 2 Spider-Men now."
Yeah, probably. They probably said that.
I'm sure they did.
Remember, they're both named Spider-Man.
Yeah,
dude,
it's fucking dumb.
It hurts I'm actively losing brain cells when I'm trying to think about that comment. I was like, you wanted to put 2 on the front because there are 2 Spider-Men. Like, most of the time, I can look down the dumbass road. I can see how you got there, but like, I can't even meander my ass down that train of thought. We're just like, yeah, man, because there's 2 of them. You get it? Like, because there's 2 of them. There's 2 Spider-Men now. Like, yeah,
Idiocracy became real. It's not a movie anymore. It's a documentary, dude.
Oh God.
You need to spell these things out to people now.
I just wanted to share, man, like that is the kind of high-powered 4D chess that they are playing in the advertising department when they're thinking about the kind of box art they're going to do. Yep. Like, no wonder we're getting just same guy on the cover for every fucking video game. If this is the level of intellect they're throwing into this. Clearly they kept the talent on the game, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. All right, so it looks like a bunch of things here that got rattled off. We then got to look at the hilarious Pal World, essentially a Pokemon game where the Pokemon can wield guns. Early access for the game will begin January 2024. A trailer for a new Black Desert online expansion that draws inspiration from Korean folklore was then shown. It's called Land of the Morning Light. This was followed by a trailer for Lord of the Rings Return to Moria, a game where you play as a dwarf digging and fighting underground.
Let me add, by the same company. By the way, they gave you a snippet of it because they didn't want your asses to realize that's the same motherfuckers who made that stupid ass Gollum game.
Oh boy,
that's
here we
go. Lord of the Rings game. Those guys are doing.
Yeah.
Oh.
And watch this shit crash and burn too.
Who does NCSoft make Black Desert? I think they do.
I think they do, yeah.
Okay,
Brett, are all those games I rattled off, anything catch your interest?
Wants to play Lord of the Rings.
Okay, one, I've been excited about Pal World for months already.
Explain Pal World to me. What is this?
Okay, Pal World is what happens if you put degenerates in charge of Pokemon. It seems like the Pokemon game that the community has been asking for, we're like, it's online, you can just see people running around, you can challenge them to battle, and also just apparently all fucking limits are off. You can attack other people's Pokemon, their Pokemon can attack trainers, they can have guns, like it just seems like they're just going, fuck it, whatever. Like, let's take the premise that Pokemon set forward and make it not restrictive and just see where it fucking goes. And again, Steam is fucking stoked about this game. I could see why too. Like, again, it's promising to give you all the elements that you're wanting. It looks pretty polished. It looks like it's actually going to work. And everybody seems to be agreeing on it. So in terms of like an online game where you train Pokemon and fight other players, player base is going to be important. So having the whole community kind of looking to one game like this is actually kind of promising if it delivers. So all they have to do, like, they've got the attention of the gamers, all they have to do is not fuck it up, and there will be a baked-in player base, which could be pretty big.
J-Shep goes, Nintendo about to send him a cease and desist order.
Nintendo doesn't own that concept. That's the beautiful thing is, I think everybody's been kind of like, Nintendo doesn't own the idea. Why hasn't somebody done a good job on this? It's like, well, because nobody's just really banked on it yet.
Oh, what about Digimon? Isn't that the same basic concept?
No. It's not.
Like kids with monsters?
Kind of.
It's kids with monsters, but the aspect is way different. And there's also not a game attached to it, like a real... in other words, there's no
real
RPG
world
game.
There
is a games, but they're not really... and they're not nearly as good as the Pokemon games. No. But monsters, kids with monsters, that's fine. It's a bunch of Monster Rancher, you could say does that, but it's even that they're a bit different than Pokemon.
Yeah, so it's basically when you're like, hey, can you think on everything Pokemon could be if it weren't owned by Nintendo? And you're like, why does nobody made this game? Well, somebody's making that game. That's the long and short of it, and the reason everybody's so fucking hyped over this. Black Desert is currently one of the kings of the MMO field. They're doing like Red Desert or something like that, which is their big follow-up. But again, that's why Throne and Liberty is so kind of focused on right now is they're like, hey, we're making a new big game. And then after that, we're like, hey, we're making a new bigger game with Amazon money. And that's where everybody kind of woke up and paid attention. I think stopped paying attention to Black Desert and Red Desert or whatever the fucking follow-up was. Because again, they're MMOs. They're actually fun to play. They're notoriously exploitative, but they are actually fun to play. So,
man,
that's what I'm saying. Like the people in this genre, they're so fucking thirsty. The shit that they put up with, And then now there seems to be a bunch of like a wave of games coming to cater to kind of crowd into that space. And frankly, the MMO people are fucking thrilled about this.
Well, that's good.
Again, this kind of Pokemon-esque game, it's going to be an MMO light. It's online. It's with other players. It's a shared progressive world.
What was that other Pokemon game that is similar to this? Like a Korean game.
Yeah, the Korean game. Yeah, I forgot what that one's called.
But yeah, that was another one where it's like, hey, Pokemon should have been like this. Temp, thank you, Daysali. All right, moving on. Can we skip this Final Fantasy game to a mobile game? Like, okay, that's enough. That's all I need to know. Mobile games.
It's essentially Final Fantasy
Ever
VII.
Crisis, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually Final Fantasy VII, but with the small characters. Like, it's the full story of Final Fantasy. Pretty much what I expected the remake to be. Well, wanted the remake to be. Essentially just that same sort of old sort of Final Fantasy style, but with the newer graphics as the turn-based part. So they're releasing it all in installments. And it's I think on iOS or whatever.
Yeah, it's a mobile game, so that instantly is a fail for me. All right.
I mean, I mean, turn-based works really well on mobile.
I'm not playing a game on my phone.
Oh, obviously. Yeah.
All right. Moving on here. Banishers: Ghost of New Eden. What is this? A third-person action game where you embody two characters simultaneously, one of whom exists in the spirit world. That sounds like Alan Wake. You'll use them both in combat, and the narrative seemingly involves their complicated relationship. Let me look at this shit. Any thoughts on this game? This guy looks like Galahad from Order 1886.
Yep. It looks.
Yeah, go ahead, Brett.
I don't.
Interesting. Is it? That's the whatchamacallit people. Life is Strange people.
Yeah, they say vampire on the thing, but it's Don't Nod. It's those guys.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Brett. I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
I just don't know how to feel about this. Like, it's like a stew that you're like, this is made out of things that I like, but I don't like the way that it smells.
Yeah, this already looks pretty basic.
I mean, Don't Nod seems to do interesting stuff. Like, not all their games are hits. Like the like
Vampire.
But I heard Vampire was actually a very decent game. So.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. I don't know what to make of this.
Yeah, that was my feeling.
More.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. All right. This is interesting. This got my attention. Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name. Another Yakuza spinoff, people. Kiryu is back, but he's not called Kiryu. He's called Joryu.
Is it a Yakuza spinoff? I thought they were just calling their mainline franchises like a Dragon now.
Yeah,
that's it.
Like
that's it. Yeah, because remember, that's it. We call them Yakuza here, but they're called Like a Dragon in Japan.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
and that last Yakuza game, the one that said Like a Dragon and it said Yakuza Like a Dragon, in Japan it was the reverse. It was like, what was it called? Like a Dragon Yakuza. Kind of like what they did with Resident Evil. But the deal is that they were essentially getting everybody used to everything being called Like a Dragon, so now they just transitioned to the Japanese name.
What I find interesting about this game, because I thought Judgment, right, those games were going to fill the live action type of fighting, and then the Yakuza games were going to be the role playing, but now this one is also live action, which is interesting.
And it's the main character from.
Yeah, I think people just want to Kiryu back. Let this man retire already. He really is like Al Pacino's guy. Ready, pull me back in.
Bring me back in.
Like, that's literally like the premise of like most of the Yakuza games. Like, he's trying to get out of the game, but they keep pulling him back. Day one. You already know, man. You already know. November 9th, let's fucking go. All right, next up here, we have Under the Waves. What is this, some underwater game? Upcoming narrative adventure game set underwater. Oh, clever. Look at this shit.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. I didn't.
You already know I'm not playing this shit. I'll get the shit scared out of me, man. Some whale shows up. I'm already getting fucked up looking at it. Oh, no, I'm good. No. Got whales and shit? Nah, man.
Fuck that.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Game looks kind of nice, though, but I'm not going to play that. Same reason I didn't play that Subnautica game or Abzu or whatever. Like, damn, give me heart attacks playing these fucking games. You know?
Your man can't play that Pinocchio game.
Yeah. What's the name of that? Yeah. There's a phobia for that, like underwater phobia. I got that shit. You know.
Not sure what it's called, but
there's a name for every fucking phobia. You know.
Probably Subnautica or something like that.
Yeah. Man, look at that. I just saw one part of the dude's in the bottom of the water. It's a fucking whale. Now I'm good. You know. More power to you if you could play that. All right, moving on here. Where's Adam, man? Call of Duty Warzones.
Oh, well, this is it.
Hey,
this is it.
But a game.
This is what they're gonna change everything. You know, and
it's different now. It's different.
You, Adam, you say this every year. Ever since I've known you, you said this every year. No. This is it. This is it. This is different. This is different. This is what it's gonna change.
Yeah, it's gonna be different. All right.
It's like he's here.
Yeah, right. All right. So Call of Duty, nobody else cares about Adam about that. Fae Farm. What the fuck is this? Harvest Moon Animal Crossing. That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. I'm good. Marvel Snap. What the fuck is this?
Some more DLC.
It's a DLC for Marvel Snap.
Oh, yeah. Who cares?
Marvel Snap's doing pretty damn well, though.
Okay, here we go. A series of trailers then followed, including one where you play King Arthur, Wayfinders. A new game from the creators of Battle Chasers. Oh, so Joe Madureira is involved, I'm guessing. And a trailer for Unreal Editor and Fortnite. This was followed by a trailer for a new multiplayer Stellaris game for Paradox, as well as Space Trash, Scavenger, and Star Trek Infinite. Where's Chris? Talk about that. Anything stand out there? I'm going to take that as a no.
Not really.
Yeah. Hey, another commercial. Twisted Metal TV series.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Wow. Yeah, tell me about this thing.
Literally, it's what's his face, the clown guy beating up on
Anthony Mackie.
On Anthony Mackie. Yeah, but he's played by I can't remember the actor's name. They had him show up on the stream for some reason. Will Arnett. Yeah, he's being played by Will Arnett, and he's beating him up, and he's the voice of it. And then he starts singing the thong song, and it's just like, oh, it's good. It just gets worse.
Yeah, let me look at this Star Trek thing. What is this?
The Borg.
It's probably going to be a dumb game. Most Star Trek games are bad.
I mean, no, Chris swears by Star Trek Online.
Star Trek Online, yeah, that's good, but yeah.
Which, by the way, still going strong.
Yeah. See what our MMO. Is there actual gameplay for this?
No, it's just a trailer.
Fuck that. All right.
They show a board cube and some shit.
Stellaris. I know that name.
Solaris.
Yeah. Space Trash. Sounds like trash. All right.
Space Trash.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on here. Lisfanga. What the fuck is this? A top-down RPG that lets you rewind time. Okay. Yeah,
it's one of those.
Okay, that one actually kind of seemed like a cool mechanic. It's definitely like an indie game kind of feel. But so what it looks like is it's kind of a Prince of Persia thing where like you go and you attack the guy on the left, right? And then you rewind time and you play, and a shadow of you then does the thing that you just did while you go attack the guy on the right. And then you rewind time and you go attack the center guy. And so like you're playing with, remember like Shadow Lapse, like playing against your ghost in racing games, like racing against your own ghost. It's kind of like that kind of concept where the things that you did previously, the shadows of your previous runs, are playing out during your current run. So that's how you like kill 5 guys. There's too many guys on the screen. You attack one, rewind time, attack another, rewind time, attack another, and you kind of make your own. Like you can make a pincher move with yourself from the past.
Interesting.
Cool concept. Not really into the AA. I was telling you, like I don't necessarily love a whole lot of isometric games. just kind of ARPGs and Larian Studio stuff. But so I'm kind of like, I did like Hades. Anyway, just meh.
Yeah. All right. What else do we have here? Immortals of Avium. Why is this actress in every game? You know who I'm talking about, right?
Is that the girl from Firefly?
Yeah, she's like in everything now.
I mean, maybe, I heard she was a gamer or something.
Yeah, that's cool.
Maybe she just liked being and shit. She
What
likes to work.
Yeah. What kind of game is this? Is it first person? Yeah, Blitz said there's a lot of first person Magic games. You know.
Oh, is this that one with the guy keeps doing all kinds of Doctor Strange shit with his hands?
I'm looking.
Is it that one?
Now I don't know.
There's that one with the guy who does all Doctor Strange.
I mean, the graphics look nice, but I something about this game's, I don't know. Immortals of Avium, 3-minute trailer. Shit, I'm assuming they're gonna show more. Yeah, you're inside of a giant robot colossus guy. Does anybody have any thoughts on this?
Not really.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh wait, is this the one that I think it is? Hold on.
Is that the one with the guy on the stage?
You're inside of a giant, like, fucking robot.
Oh yeah, no, this thing. It's Call of Duty with magic.
Yeah.
I actually watched a video of a guy who got invited early to play through the game, and it looks like a wizard game, but it's not. It's a shooter with a wizard skin.
Yeah, in other words, all the wizard magic abilities are Call of Duty, like machine guns and stuff.
Oh, like shotguns and all that stuff.
Yeah, like you have a shotgun spell, like kind of like that. Like in other words, these things that have those sorts of effects.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, from what I've heard, the core gameplay is pretty fun, but like there's a lot of tweaks that need done, and maybe they'll take these ideas and they'll do them, but I would not bet on this game. This does not seem like it's going to be great.
I'm going to have to agree with that. This looks pretty boring. All right, moving on. Sorry. Yeah, falling asleep. Fortnite came up.
Yeah,
I thought I had a stroke at this point.
They kept advertising that a lot during the night.
Fortnite Wilds. What the fuck is this shit?
Okay, so Tony, let me give you a brief breakdown of the video so you don't have to watch it.
Oh, thank you.
The Fortnite guys are hanging out, and the middle of their island collapses, and in the middle of an island is a dense jungle. And they spy in the middle of a dense jungle an ancient temple. So they go down and like leap into the action, and they met with some raptors. So they ride the raptors. And I feel like a 5-year-old telling a story when I'm doing this. So they ride the raptors to the middle.
Anyway, go on. Yeah,
they ride the raptors to the middle of the temple, and they collect a secret weapon. And then the temple starts shifting, and then the weapon turns into a rocket and explodes, and it's hilarious. And then a hologram comes down, and it's Optimus Prime, and then they all go running out with the raptors. Yeah, like I'm just sitting there. I was like, dude, did I have a stroke? Like, the fuck is going on right now?
It sounds like you're just making shit up as you went along now.
Yeah, like, this sounds like a 5-year-old making up a story, and you're like, what the fuck is Optimus Prime doing here?
Oh, because it's a crossover between the new Transformers film.
All right, because I hate myself. I'm watching this trailer.
It's exactly like I put it out.
It's literally what you just described. They go out in the jungle. There's raptors. They're riding the raptors. There's a fish guy. They're in a temple. There's the Optimus Prime. Here we go. Oh God, what the hell is this?
This whole thing feels like it was made for like I feel like I'm being talked down to by this trailer.
What am I watching here? So there's exploding plane. You know what? Why is Optimus Prime the size of a human?
Because in order to play him, he has to be.
That's right. He does have to be.
There's also an Optimus Primal one in there too, as I remember.
Oh, that's marketing. You know?
Yeah, because of the new movie.
Yeah. All right, and the last thing here, and I did see this trailer, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Good stuff. But obviously, this is not following the path of the original games anymore. You know, and it's 2 discs. Like, that's not
Two
next
discs.
gen. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's 2 discs apparently.
We're going back to the PS1 days.
Yeah, maybe they because of because of all the high resolution textures they want to put in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's probably what it is. But again, just one of those instances. I don't need to see more. Just give me the game. You know. But obviously, this ain't coming out this year because we got Final Fantasy 16 dropping. You know.
Yeah. Well, they said early 2024.
Yeah, which is end of the fiscal year.
Yeah.
So they're literally releasing 2 Final Fantasy games the same year.
Yeah. Well, it depends on when in 2024 it comes out.
They said early 2024.
If it's early, it is fiscal year.
My guess is that it's like February, March.
Yeah, there it is. They're early 2024. By March at the latest, right? If it's
March by the latest
fiscal year, you know.
Yeah, that's that's always been the magic place. Like it's either November, like around holiday season, or then, So.
Yeah. Well, I won't have to worry about 2 discs because I'm going to get it digital, so I'm good.
Yeah, it's just
you're gonna have to worry about 2 SSDs.
Yeah, you won't have to deal with this space, but you'll have to deal with actual hard drive space.
Yeah.
How big is this fucking game?
Yeah. Oh, I'm not. Yeah. Oh, you already know. Yeah.
How big is this fucking game if it can't fit on one Blu-ray disc?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to delete a bunch of stuff. But at least I won't have to fucking switch discs. Like we're not doing this. This is stupid.
To be honest, I don't think they're going to ever swap the discs. It's going to be like Red Dead.
Yeah, you're right. You're
just going to put one disc in to just essentially so it checks the disc and then that's it.
Yeah.
Or counterpoint, and they won't actually do this, but I like to think that it's actually going to be in 2 game save files. So like you download the game twice to kind of reenact that original 2-disc experience.
Yeah.
So you download part 1, you play that, and then you have to download part 2 to play that, like switching the disc.
That'd be hilarious.
It's just like the old days, but less convenient.
Yeah, right.
I wonder how much of this is just a thing where like, Final Fantasy VII was in 3 discs, so it's like an homage. Because
it worked. It as soon as they at the end of it, you hear somebody yell out in the presentation.
Oh yeah, 2 discs. Yeah, because like what Manny said, like you just insert 1 disc and it'll download it for you because that's pretty much what it's doing. I don't know.
Pretty much.
It sounds gimmicky to me. Maybe it does need 2 discs, but it's not like you play off of them.
Even if it was, it worked. You heard them motherfuckers. They were all about it.
Yeah. Also, what if it's the other part of the Final Fantasy game? It's probably not, but it'd be interesting if it was.
Well, it would be interesting if they had the first one. Yeah, if they had part 1.
Yeah. All right. So that's all the games they showed.
So yeah,
Lame Fest.
There you go. Yep, Summer Lame Fest.
I mean, it started off really good. I was like, damn, this is, and the format that Jeff was using was really nice because he started off with when he did the Ed Boon stuff. They're talking about the game. It's it's not just CG trailers. They're showing gameplay. They're talking about the game, the features, when it's coming out, and all that stuff. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. But then they after that and a couple of other ones, they start going to
they went back to their old tricks again.
Yeah. So, there's a couple of things that I did enjoy. I did like this press conference a little bit more than Sony's, but it wasn't that much better.
Yeah. What about you guys in the chat? Would you think was better, this or the Sony conference? But yeah, again, yeah. This look, I didn't even have anything I got excited about, to be honest. All the things we discussed tonight. Yeah, but that's already given. I'm talking about like new things. I'm like, this is a meth fest.
That is true. Well, yeah. But I mean, the Sony one, we knew Spider-Man 2 was going to show up.
Yeah, yeah. So, the only games I could get excited about I already saw and knew about.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of games here I play. I mean, not a lot that I'm like super excited about, but like I'll go down the list. Like I'll probably play Mortal Kombat. Gonna play Path of Exile. I'm not gonna play The Witcher.
There is no Witcher. Yeah.
They showed the Witcher TV show.
Yeah,
you're not gonna play it. You're gonna watch it.
Witchfire was made by the people who made Bulletstorm, and that game was fun as hell. So I'll probably at least check that out. Remnant 2, Lies of P, I'm still not sure about. Sandman looks pretty cool. Throne and Liberty, I'm excited about. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2, fuck yeah, I'm excited about that. Toxic Commando, I'll check it out. Baldur's Gate, excited about. Spider-Man, excited about. Power World, excited about. Like a Dragon, that's going to be cool. Mortal Babylon, no. Wild. Final Fantasy. There was one or two other ones in there that just looked kind of neat, but like there's a bunch of games in there. I'm like, yeah, I'll probably check that out.
Yeah, you know what? I'll do the same thing. Let me go down this list here. What will I actually really play? Mortal Kombat. I'll play that again because of Street Fighter 6. No, I don't care about the Sonic game.
I thought it was going to be a remake at first. I was like, oh shit, they're remaking one.
Alan Wake 2 probably. We'll see what happens. Spider-Man 2 obviously. And Final Fantasy 7. Yeah, the rest of this I don't care about.
Like a Dragon.
Oh, Like a Dragon. Thank you for reminding me. Oh, and Baldur's Gate. There you go. All right, so like 4 games. I guess that's okay, you know. But the rest of these are just filler for me.
For me, I'm not guaranteeing that I'm going to play these, but I was intrigued. Prince of Persia, Mortal Kombat 1. I was intrigued. Lies of P. I was intrigued from the first trailer. This trailer didn't really change anything for me. Same for
this
Warhammer 40,000.
Really made me lose interest. Like that's not good. But yeah, I was like, I don't know. I think I was just like amazed by the first trailer. Now I'm like, okay, what are we doing now?
Alan Wake 2. I played the first game, so I'm probably gonna play the second. But it's not like this conference did anything to make me more excited.
It's not like one of those things you need to play, right?
Well, not necessarily. But you know, it's intriguing. Other than that, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth obviously is something that I'm anticipating, and Like a Dragon, Gaiden is something that I'm looking forward to. Everything other than that, Gaiden. Yeah.
Jay Shep goes, the funny part is Nintendo's going to hold it down, but Tony has no interest in Nintendo. This is true.
Who are they holding down?
They're holding
They're holding you down by gunpoint.
Oh shit. Yeah. Nintendo's trash. But I think they're gonna have a direct or something. Like that's the rumor going around right now. Like there's a website. I don't know. There's something going on, but they probably excuse me.
That's
they probably
fine. You know, they'll do their thing.
Fuck, I don't care.
They'll give you some blue ocean for you to drink.
Yeah. Nobody answered my question in the chat, man. Would you guys like better, this or the PlayStation showcase?
Oh, this one.
They're about the same.
No. I'm talking about the chat here. Nobody answered my question.
Okay.
Very interesting to me. You know, is it because you guys don't want to admit that this was better, even though this was trash? Summer Game Fest. All right, thank you, Ace Ali. I'm going to say this now. Just looking at what was announced, even though most of it was just mid and filler, it looked better than the PlayStation showcase. You know.
Yeah, PlayStation. I mean, Spider-Man 2 was great, but it wasn't that much to hold off everything else.
Yeah, Summer Game Fest. Ace Ali. Summer Game Fest gave me what I expected from PlayStation and SM2 release and Final Fantasy 7 info. Yeah, I saw a lot of people say that. They were like, "Why the fuck didn't Sony talk about that?" You know, and it's led people to wonder if Jeff Keighley was like, "Hey, give me something," you know.
That's what I was talking. I mentioned that in the Discord because they're like, "What? Why wasn't this in the PlayStation conference?" I'm like, fucking Jeff had to grease his hands. Like, you have anything for me?
You have anything for me? Yeah.
He even thanked Nomura himself.
By the way, was there that game? Carlos, you know what I'm talking about. They made it get all emotional. That didn't happen.
No, because there wasn't a heavy Japanese presence in that, other than the Final Fantasy stuff. There was no Kojima, by the way.
Yeah.
Oddly enough,
Kojima was in the freaking Apple
He was
World
at the Apple. Yeah, he was
Developers
there.
Conference.
Yep. Yeah, he
Somehow
can fly
couldn't
down
make
there.
it to Jeff. And because it's interesting, Kojima. Here's and maybe there's a falling apart. I doubt it.
Uh-oh.
But Kojima's promoting Death Stranding and the director's cut on the Apple conference. Death Stranding 2 is on the horizon, and he has a documentary. So I was just surprised that none of that.
Yeah, how come Jeff
over.
didn't have an advertisement for Kojima's documentary?
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious.
Trouble in Paradise.
Trouble in Paradise, and I thought that he might have something from Armored Core, just because him and From Software, have had a track record of, having things for his show.
Yeah, mid-show.
I just don't think they had any megatons. They had a bunch of kind of mid-tier stuff, but nothing.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, Ace Ali's actually interested for some games that we kind of dismissed. He's Sandland, Honkai, Power World, and Sonic.
I'm interested in Sandland and Power World.
Yeah, okay,
Power World is just interesting just because it's Pokemon with guns. I don't even know if it's gonna play good. That's like it's just that concept of Pokemon with guns that's interesting, but that's not enough to sell me for a game.
Yeah,
because so there were, everyone here in the chat mentioned a game that it's pretty interesting, but a lot of the stuff we already knew about. We already knew about the Alan Wakes. We already knew about the Mortal Kombat's coming through, Final Fantasy. The only thing we didn't know is like a Dragon, the new Like a Dragon stuff. Sonic, I thought it was going to be a Sonic 1 remake, and then it's like something different. It looks okay, but yeah, it might have been better if it was a Sonic Mania 2, like Tony mentioned.
Yeah, man.
Oh, Tony, you should keep an eye on that Warhammer game.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's pretty solid up your alley, and they're never real long games.
Yeah,
and also Warhammer was another game that's probably intriguing to most people in here, but it's already been shown plenty of times.
Yeah, none of the problem here is none of the big games are new. Like, there's a couple of things in here, like if nobody had heard of Baldur's Gate 3 before this point, that would have been a big fucking thing. There are a couple other ones, like even like Remnant 2 had already been announced. Immortals of Avalon, we already know about that. So yeah, I don't know that there's a lot here. Is there anything that was brand new that was big?
Not that I don't think so, man.
So that's like, I'm getting a distinct impression here. Like, now's the opportunity for me to take out my tinfoil hat. Like, I'm getting a real distinct impression here that they were kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel, just because of, like, look, they're highlighting MMOs. That is usually not something that they're prone to do, and it could just be a shift in the direction of the industry, or it could be that Jeff Keighley was really trying to pull together a show, and that's kind of the impression that I was getting. Because again, none of this is new. They're just like, hey, okay, it seems like he was making the phone calls and trying to get around and trying to get some videos and shit. I'm not sure if the Path of Exile... I think the Path of Exile is the biggest announcement, because I don't think I had heard of that before. And I feel like that's real relevant coming on the back of Diablo releasing. So, but that's, again, the if you know kind of game. So I guess what I'm saying is Sony didn't have anything to give Jeff Keighley, and Jeff Keighley didn't get his hands on a lot. So that honestly makes me real concerned about what Microsoft has, because that makes the stakes high, and Microsoft historically performs very poorly when the stakes are high.
The funny thing is that they didn't do the usual thing that they've been doing as of late. Temper your expectations. So for this version, so I guess Microsoft maybe thinks that they have something.
I mean, that don't go raising and crushing people's hopes like that.
That's what Greeny said. Aaron Greenberg.
Yeah, no, not you. To Xbox, I was like, don't do that to people. Don't give them hope. Don't do that, because every time, like, if Xbox managed to deliver a really good presentation, that would feel like something right now, just because of the landscape. It would be an amplified win. It would be a win that feels bigger than it was, and that could be a good thing. I mean, I feel like one of the reasons that Diablo came out well was because of Path of Exile, and that's one of the reasons I'm real excited that Path of Exile is coming out too. Like, okay, so if Diablo wants to maintain a live service game, they have competition now. They have to actually bring it. They actually have to do things and listen to their community. They can't just dismiss people and take their money. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
we need more than one types of, for a type of game, like a genre, you need more than one game. Except for Souls games, there's no contesting that. You can't win against Miyazaki.
Mighty Nerd is yelling at us to talk about the Turtles game. That wasn't shown during Summer Game Fest.
That wasn't shown during, then that's a DLC. So
yeah, but we could, yeah.
We can talk about it.
We're back. Let's go back. That was a good game, Shredder's Revenge.
Yeah, and it's gonna have Usagi Yojimbo in it.
Yeah,
they're gonna put him in, and they put a extra colors and all kinds of other stuff. So yeah, good stuff.
Oh, that was the game I missed you guys on.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, and I think we only played that one time. Me, Carlos, and Chris and Adam. Yeah, that was it. We only played that one night.
And we beat it.
Yeah, we beat the whole game. We're like, okay, we're done.
Oh, damn! You guys beat it all in one night.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not a long game.
Yeah, it's like 30 minutes.
Yeah, but you all did the PC version, as I remember.
Yeah, we were all on Steam Deck.
Yep. Steam Deck, boys.
Yeah. Yeah, but literally, that was just that one night, and that was it. Like, hey, we beat the game. We're done. All right, good stuff. So yeah, Summer Game Fest. There you go. So the next big thing will be the Xbox showcase on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, and we will be live streaming our reactions of that to you guys. So what I asked you guys to do is hold off on your throw around your questions until after that show, because if you start asking us now, because your question right now will probably be, what do you expect at the Summer Game at showcase? Like, we're gonna already answer that, so hold off until like after the showcase, then start dropping your questions in. Because then you can ask yourself about the showcase and Summer Game Fest and, whatever else. Because Ubisoft has something tomorrow, too. So, yeah, there's going to be some stuff happening this weekend. So, yeah, wait for after the showcase, and we will answer those questions. And we will see if Microsoft can actually deliver a better show than Sony and Jeff Keighley. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, like the song says, deliver the goods.
Yeah, right.
Keep your expectations low.
Yeah. Stay Shep, he goes, for it to be a Sunday show, they must be confident. No, because they've always done Sunday shows. They're literally having a Sunday show at the same time, the same day. They've always had these E3 during E3 when they had E3. So they're not. So Microsoft.
Well, was it a Sunday show? No. Or was it a Monday? It was a Monday show.
It was a Monday, but they switched it to Sunday. For the last 3 years, but the same exact time. Yeah. No, you're right. It used to be on Mondays back when E3 still existed and made sense. Because then
I'm gonna say this though. Like the one thing about E3 is you could actually walk past the shit that you didn't want to see. Unlike Summer Game Fest, which you literally had to wade through the bog of garbage.
Oh wow! Actually, this is how it was the old schedule. On Monday, that's when everything happened, right? You start off the day with Microsoft. That was at 10 a.m., right? Followed up by EA, right? Around like 12. Then Ubisoft. That was like on the other side of LA and shit. And then you come back for Sony, and obviously, you're waiting for the Sony shit at the end of the day, and that was usually around 6 p.m. That's how it was for a bunch of years, and then they started switching it up, and then the last like 3 years, Microsoft started doing their thing, on Sundays at 1, You know, that's when it started throwing me off. Like, what the fuck? We had to fly in early for fucking Microsoft. You know, and EA. It was like because EA. You know, fucking. They started doing their shit on Saturday, so we had to fly in on a Friday. It's like, what do we? Why we don't want to be in LA this long, man? This city fucking sucks. You know, fuck LA. This is not the question show, but I'll ask it. Hey, Brett, you got a question here, man? From J Shep, he goes, for Brett, what does Xbox need to show for it to be a good show for you?
Man, I don't even know. I feel like for me personally, I'm not really sure. There's a couple games that I'd like to hear something on Fallout. That'd be fantastic, or at least the next Elder Scrolls. There's so many ways to take that question. In my perfect world, like the megaton that they need to come out and bring that would just fucking level everything. Fallout New Vegas 2. You announced New Vegas 2? Oh, shit. Internet's going to pop off. But I'd like to see something on Fable. I'd like to see... I'm kind of drawing a blank on a couple of them right now. I'm just happy about Starfield still. But what I think that they need to do to be successful is if they can come out with, I want to say, they can announce 3 games, 3 AAA games that are generally well received, that people are excited about. I think that would garner them enough. That would be considered a solid win for me.
All right, there you go.
And I think for most, like, I'm curious about the other people on the panel, like, what is it like? Because, they got the proof of burden. They don't have the benefit of the doubt. So I'm always interested to hear, like, especially for Tony, like, what would it take for you to consider that Microsoft conference a win?
Yeah, like you said, games. Good games, AAA games that are only playable on Xbox Series X and PC, obviously.
I saw a lot of PS4 stuff still on this thing.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. So yeah, Brett, that's. I mean, my answer is simple. It's stupid, but that's what it is. Literally, exclusive AAA Xbox games. At least 3 of them. And coming out within the next 2 years.
Yeah, there you go. 3 within the next 2 years. I think we're pretty well agreed on that.
Yeah. And I already give them a gimme. Starfield's one of them. So there you go. Yeah, Tony, spot the fuck on. Good games you need to play on Xbox. Yeah, there you go. I'm a simple man. I have simple needs, people. Give me AAA games, exclusive. That's it. I don't ask for much, but these companies can't seem to deliver it anymore.
Well, especially if they come out with games that aren't live service. I mean, the narrative of Microsoft is kind of, they probably come out with a lot of bro games or live service games or that kind of thing, and they may still, but man, if they could come out with like just, even if they're like they can have online components, they can be full campaign co-op, and they can have multiplayer modes. Like, I don't care, but like if you can come out with games that aren't obviously live service games, dude, that would be good. That'd be, especially on the back of what Sony just did.
All right. Start wrapping this up here. Do we have anything to plug? Carlos, I'm looking at you, man.
Yeah, we're doing I Am Negan, which is a Walking Dead podcast, currently going over Fear the Walking Dead, the final season of the series. And it's the nuke. Adam Bale is hosting the show along with Mr. Richard Bailey Jr. from thecoalition.com and myself. And you can catch that on YouTube. Just search The Coalition with a K, The Coalition with a K, or go to thecoalition.com and you can catch the I Am Negan. We're not gonna cover this week's show on time because both of my team members are out. Rich is covering everything Summer Games Fest and all that stuff going on in California, and Adam is on a family trip. So we're going to cover this week's episode a little bit late, but all the other episodes, if you guys want to catch up, make sure to tune into the YouTubes and check those out. and then we'll get the next episode as soon as we can.
Good stuff, man. All right, people, you already know. Make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter. Join the Discord where the conversations never stop, and neither do the rumors. Thank you, Bob Hits, as always, for supplying those, man. Throwdown is on every podcast app you could think of. Throwdown Show towards Throwdown Show. Throwdownshow.com to listen to past episodes. And if you've been watching us on YouTube and enjoyed our videos, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of when our premieres go live. Links to everything down below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you next time.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
And Brett Murdoch.
Deuces.
All right, people, you already know, man. We will be back on Sunday afternoon for the Xbox Showcase. Follow it up by throwing your questions that night. Same bat time, same bat channel. Later.
Laters.
Peace.